We're coming to you from South Africa House at this moment. We're in Davos. It's the third day of the World Economic Forum. Perhaps we should just start with a little bit of a recap of what's happened yesterday. Yesterday we saw leaders from Canada, the European Commission. We saw Emmanuel Macron of France. They gave their speech addressing their unhappiness about the state of affairs in the world and how they would like to see change to a world order where laws are respected. This is ahead, of course, of the address this afternoon by U.S. President Donald Trump, which is widely anticipated here. We're seeing high security presence around, so we'll be bringing you that on SABC News. But for now, since we are at the South Africa House, we will be speaking to Brand SA CEO just about how South Africa has been received, the progress that they've made so far this week. Thank you so much, Mr. Neville Mikey, Brand SA CEO. Thank you for joining us. Just with what is happening, the landscape under which this is the challenging landscape that this event is happening, how can South Africa kind of use this as an opportunity to try and build new markets, partnerships, so that it doesn't suffer as much from the tariffs that we're seeing, AGOA that is seemingly not going to be a part of us in the future?
And thank you so much for having me. So part of the main reason we are here at WEF is to capitalize on the momentum that has already been built from the G20 last year. As you understand, South Africa is all about multilateralism, and we believe in the spirit of dialogue, which is the theme for WEF this year. And the reason we believe in that is because we believe that in the world order, you can't achieve much without dialogue, and you've got to have a dialogue with your partners. So that is the approach under which we believe and we've been subscribing to. And as you know, at home, Aribue, Laton Sprat, Asikhulume, and that is really the spirit under which we've been driving our messaging. Why we are here at Davos, really to continue to market and promote South Africa as a destination of choice for investors, as a destination of choice for tourists who want to visit South Africa, and really to showcase the macroeconomic reforms that South Africa has undergone. We've seen, of course, the world also has spoken. We've been removed from the grey list, as you're aware. Our credit rating has improved and has continued even more. The European Union has removed us from their high-risk third world countries. So from that perspective, it's a good message to tell. What does it say to investors? It basically says South Africa is really committed to ensuring that it creates a platform which is amenable for them to come and do business. For companies, them doing business means that they are able to really have a return on investment. The geopolitics, of course, what they have done is brought us even closer together to our partners. Our partners have also realized that they've got to look after each other. This whole notion of unitary approach is not going to work, and that has been a clear message that came out even here at WEF, and a clear message that has resonated all along. Yesterday I saw the Finnish Prime Minister, actually day before yesterday, as he walked past South Africa House, he actually stopped and smiled and said South Africa. So it gets to show the love that South Africa has in the hearts of the attendees here at WEF.
So how is South Africa collaborating, let's say, with other African countries to make sure that the global South speaks with one voice here?
Yeah, so the African continent is the most important aspect for us because we are Africans first before we become anyone else. The very first session that we hosted here at South Africa House focused purely on the African dialogue and the African agenda. We had the Secretary General for the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, Wamkele Mene. His Excellency was here yesterday. And it was an oversubscribed session where we got to really showcase what we're doing from a trade perspective in moving goods into the continent, and also looking at reciprocal trade from the different countries. The instruments that have been put in place by EFTA, as well as, of course, the banking sector that supports that, is one area that is very critical. That was followed by critical minerals. We had the Minister of DRC, who was here together with Minister Dow in the same panel, talking about, from a pan-African approach, what is it that we're doing to encourage localization and value addition at source, rather than our raw materials being exported out of the out of our countries, and we only import finished products. That collaboration between businesses within Africa to improve Africa was the dialogue, and that continues today. We have a platform that's going to be focusing on the digital technology, and one that's going to be focusing on tourism, but not just for South Africa, also for the continent itself. But of course, because we're at South Africa House, our main focus is on the South African story.
So with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area seemingly gaining traction, more countries interested, especially in this environment where I guess you need partners that you can trust, supply chains that you can be able to trust in. Which sectors in South Africa are you putting forward? Are you highlighting as like entry points for companies that may be wanting to invest in the rest of Africa?
Yeah, so if you recall, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area really was enacted 5 years ago. Within the last 5 years, up to now, we've got 50 countries that have actually signed and deposited their instruments. That in itself is a big statement that has been made as quickly as possible. South Africa already shipped its consignment of goods about 3 years ago into the continent under the framework of AfTA, and we continue to utilize the free trade area. What instruments can also be improved? What needs to be done? Of course, we're not 100% there yet. There are non-tariff barriers that are a fact that respective countries need to deal with. The bottlenecks that you find at the borders, the fact that each country does not so the countries are not synchronized in terms of their harmonized codes, as well as their border systems. All those are really will take time for those to be improved. But what has been positive has been the instruments that have been developed at the banking sector to encourage and to move goods fairly quicker. So you can actually use air cargo as well as the shipping routes. Through Afrexim Bank, they've put a lot of instruments. Our banks in South Africa are also part of that to ensure that those systems are you are able to ship your goods and be guaranteed that you will be paid.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Maki. That is the Brand SA CEO, Mr. Neville Maki, speaking to us there at South Africa House about just how South Africa is putting its best foot forward, trying to, of course, grow our economy and get more markets for our products,